Hey everybody, Jen Cravassi, Jekyll Bates, and this is the 10th or 11th time that I've started and stopped. I'm losing my voice because I'm really sick still, but I'm at the point where I have to start working. We all went to Florida for vacation with the family. I haven't seen a lot of my family all year. Thank goodness my mom, I've moved her down to Georgia, so she's about 45 minutes. But even with my workload, I still don't get to see her as often as I would like. I'm going to try and change that going forward. So let's talk about that. You'd have to be buck crazy to pick up and leave a studio at the beginning of show season, knowing that the workload is going to be astronomically tough, and take an entire month, which is basically what I had to do in October, and build a studio from the ground up. Summer would have been a much better time to do that, but it's a lot of moving parts in it, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. I think that God doesn't give us more than we can handle in any particular situation, and it was a situation where there were a certain amount of monies coming due, and it's for business insurance and work comp insurance. And even though I was working under the umbrella of Bullshed Swim Baits, I don't work for him. I'm an independent collaborative partner. You can say contracted, hired gun. I've heard that in people that are just trying to sling stuff out there. And it kind of is, because that's what painters do for the industry. And I'm not a builder. And I have no intention of stepping all over Mike and trying to build my own swim baits. It's just not me. I'm an artist. And I love being an artist. Mike and I have a very great relationship. He has been an integral part of the reason that I've gotten as far in this industry as I have. Yes, I have talent. I can do cool stuff like paint Dylan or paint Shoei. Just finished that. Don't tell my Braves friends. I love painting, period. I always have. So the talent's there, but you almost have to have lightning strike in order to make it as a painter. It just doesn't happen. Painters are out there. So the course that I took in my career was to help you guys, to help you learn, to teach. Not everybody's going to be as crazy driven as people like me and Mike Russell, the design lead at Strike King, who's my mentor, one of my mentors. A couple of Mikes have been mentors. Michael Ornstein is another. And I've been doing this for almost 13 years, 10 years professional, 11 years now professionally. It just isn't an easy thing to do. So being an independent small business, there were things that I had to do to keep my part in things. And in trade, Mike was comping me the monies for my business insurance, since I was working under his roof, technically, in his shop. When that came around this year, Mike has been training a new general manager who is stepping into his role, and the need for me to take on all of the multiple functional things that I had been doing in the business aside from Jekyll Baits, which is a lot. I mean, it's a lot to run a business and to maintain it, especially when you're a growing business like Bullshed Swim Baits is, and it has been for some time, and it's growing rapidly. We're global, but when you have a general manager that's learning and coming up, it's easy, having been a manager myself, for me to be helping out. But now that he's stepped into that role, it was a little bit easier for me to take a step back. So instead of paying several $1,000s for insurance, and that's the short Reader's Digest version of it, I decided that it was time to save $450 a month in gas and put that money back into a place where I'm not driving 2 hours a day to go to, well, back and forth. It's an hour one way, and on I-75, and when there's traffic, I'm sitting in traffic for like an hour and a half. So 2 hours a day turns into 4 hours a day or 5 hours a day. At this time of year, especially with show season, time is everything. Time is a gift. And it's a gift that doesn't give back. So when you lose that time, it's not like you can actually technically make it up. You can't. You can just work longer the next day. Probably one of the reasons that I got as sick as I did is because I'm coming off of 30 days building this. Literally, the only thing that I didn't do was put together the shell, put together the electrical, and run the lighting. So I had a dear friend of mine come, who's a friend of Bullshad, come and help with the electrical capacity. He's a licensed electrician, and I'm eternally grateful. And then I had Cody Kirk and his Kirk Energy Works do the lighting, and it's fantastic. It's great. I'm sitting here kind of in half light morning because it's pouring down rain and I've got a lot of stuff to do, but I wanted to kind of clear the air there. It's like, why in the world would you do that? Would you leave? It's going to end up saving me money, and I'm 10 steps from my back door in my house. So I have a functional studio, and it's still not as neat as I want it to be, but it's getting there. It's taken 30 days. The electricity, unfortunately, took 3 weeks of that month putting together, and then once that was run, was in the walls, then I could start building out the wood slats and everything else that I needed to do. So it took me start to finish. Once the electricity was run, it took me about a week and a half to get everything in here because my garage was loaded down. So, and again, I'm sorry I sound like Kermit the Frog. I am still sick, but I'm on the upswing, and I'm at the point where I absolutely have to start working now. So if you hear a drip, it's because there is a drip, and I think I talked about that earlier. I have a skylight in here, and I actually have 2 skylights because I wanted as much natural light as possible, and that was one of the options when getting this building built. And I'm really excited about that. Unfortunately, this one is in, I think it shifted a little bit, or they didn't put it in 100% because there's just like a little bit. And they flashed it, like they did everything except for, like, I think it just isn't in correctly because I've got a little drip. So I've already called them. Hopefully they're going to come out. It's rained enough times to where it's coming in, and I've got a 5-gallon Home Depot bucket for when it really pours. Sorry. Good grief. So, and then I've got another little bucket on the ground because there's 2 places. When it's raining really hard, the bucket fills up. Not fills up. That's an exaggeration, but it gets water in it. So that's got to be addressed. And then there's just some little minor details like settling the storage. I've still got some stuff that I got to bring in from my garage. It took, man, I had a lot of boxes. You don't realize how much crap you have until until you're boxing it and unboxing it. So packing took a long time because I've acquired over the years quite a bit, and some of it's stock. When we were with JBCo, I got quite a few of these from JBCo on the house for work that I was doing for them in partial payment, because this stuff allows me to make customs for you guys. And GSM Outdoors, we have our own new and improved packaging, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit too. If you're seeing this, then the 8-inch trick shad is out. It's November, and GSM has sent me a few of the clear blanks for me to customize. And the way it works with me, and I've heard a lot of people say, where can I get blanks? I don't know if they're going to sell blanks. They did at the Classic last year because I know painters are interested. And if you're good painters, you're looking at doing the right thing and buying a product from the company like Bullshad. You want to represent us, and you want to do a good job painting, and you want to make a little money, and we get that. So I don't know. The answer to that question is I have no idea if they're going to do it again. I get them as part of payment for designing. So I have 2 more patterns that are coming out, or that are out now. One is the sacolate, and if you don't know what sacolate is, it's just a fancy Louisiana term for crappie. So crappie is one of the ones that I did this time, and it's going forward. It's going to be on all of their new products, and probably in the next round of 6-inch trick shads. The 8-inch, 5-inch, there's just so much coming out. We're excited about that. So when I say growing, I mean it. Bull shad is growing at a breakneck pace. As exciting as that can be, it's also daunting, and you have to budget differently and things like that. So it is what it is. But this is the right move for me. I'm home. Get to be with my little family, with the pets, with everybody, close to my mom. I save $450, depending on what gas is going to be in the future. $450 now a month in gas is going to go right back into Jekyll baits in this building. So that's a little bit of where we are with everything. I'm going to hold this up because I just got them. Thank you, Heath, in Texas from GSM Outdoors. Heath is one of the design engineers for GSM, and he oversees multiple, it's not just bull shad, it's not just, well, not bull shad, but Buka brand. The distinction there, I'm sorry I'm sick, but this has to be done because I'm putting off this video. Bull shad swim baits is still bull shad swim baits, and they are not bought by anybody. It's Mike Buka. It always has been. But when JBCo started having issues, JBCo is still JBCo, but we're no longer with JBCo. But there were some financial issues a couple years back. They're trying to get back on their feet, but they could no longer afford to keep us as a collaborative partner. GSM Outdoors was the answer for Mike. And it's a good answer. They're great people. Neither one of the companies ever treated us poorly. They're big companies, and industry changes when you start dealing with larger entities, because it's not just us. You know, we always think we're the center of our universe, and that's just because we take a lot of pride, and it's a lot of hard work to produce, for the guys to produce bull shads and for me to paint. And we also employ people like Krista Masick, Brett Arter, in the past, Bill Barton. I think he's working with us this season, so you guys are going to have some really, really cool baits. Show season, we're just gassed about that. That's so cool that Bill's coming back to do another round with us this year. And Krista and Brett. There's just a lot of moving parts, and we work at such a volume that I'm not the center of the universe. I never have been. I'm just one part of a really cool team that I get to be working with every single day. But with the plastics line, GSM has picked it up, but it's not just us. It's Bill Lewis, it's Yamamoto, it's so like there's 20, 30 companies on the fishing side, and GSM had primarily been a hunting company before they were fishing. So they are also a growing company. So it's just a lot of moving parts when you get to this point in the industry. And I've worked really hard to get where I'm at. The short answer in any of this is I cannot sell these to you as a painter. I can't. I don't have that. Like, that would kind of be like underhanded, I think. At least for me, ethically for me. I do make a little bit of money on these because it's part of how it's not the only way. I get monetary compensation as well for, like I did the 10 patterns with the first round of trick shads, the ABS line. And then you kind of tweak that. You have to see what sells, what's really doing well. Everything is going to swim the same. They all have, like, we're catching double digits like crazy with the ABS line, and I'm super excited about that too. And you guys have been seeing that. Not to say there's never going to be a hiccup. That's just part of it. But if there is a hiccup, you can't trust anybody more than Mike and the team at GSM to take care of that. You always see bad press before you see good press, because that's just the way the world works. But if you have any issues with anything that's GSM line at all, or bull shad related, or my paint, you better make damn sure that you know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, we're going to take care of you. Now, if you guys are feeding us a line and you just want to troll, that's different. Sorry. I'm going to keep rolling. But we will take care of you. Period. End of story. I think GSM went over and above. They were giving 2 baits if you had a problem with one bait. So they were giving you double. I don't know of another company out there that does that. I just don't. So enough with the trolling. We love you guys. We want you all catching fish. We want you catching big fish. We love that you swim our products and that you're doing well with our products. If you ever have a legitimate problem, we will take care of you. End of story. We love you. And we mean it. So that's the end of that. So that's the little state of the nation. I'm going to give you a walk around. I don't know if I'm going to do this in a 2-part video or a 3-part video because I know I'm talking long. This is, again, multiple attempts at getting this done before I completely lose my voice. So thank you for bearing with me. I love you guys, and I'm happy to be in an environment. A lot of you are like, well, it's not really that much bigger. Yes and no, because I'm able to use my garage now as storage just for me. I don't have to share it with Bullshad because they have a lot of storage needs as well, like Mike's boat. Just kidding, Mike. Just kidding. I mean, it's a boat. It's his business. He can do with it whatever he wants. Although production would be really good if we were downstairs instead of where that boat's at. Just saying. All right, that's my little rant for Mike. You know I love you, brother. So that's it. It's storage for me out in my garage. I now have the ability to walk out my back door into my backyard, come into this beautiful all Jekyll baits, just like I was in Arkansas, and not only paint, but production level clear coat right behind where the camera is. And I couldn't do that before. So the long game that I love to play, because that's what life is, it's a long game. I'm not going to jump ship. I do commissions for individuals, and yes, I owe you guys an apology too, some of you, because it takes a long time to get that done. Sometimes way longer than it's expected. Because of contractual obligations to my folks. But it does get done. So I have not taken any more work on except for the nets that I'm selling. So that's a collaborative effort between myself and Catch Outdoors, which is Kelly Barefoot, not Catch Company. There's a couple of Catches out there, and they're completely separate entities. Although you will find Catch Outdoors products in Catchco mystery box. So the mystery tackle box, I think now Catchco is no longer, and it's just mystery tackle box. So MTB still alive and kicking. But yeah, Kelly's products are in there. But I'm digressing away from this stuff. I hope that this is not one long run-on sentence for you guys. I just wanted to sit in front of you and give you a little bit of a breakdown as to why I am where I am at the time that I did. The Reader's Digest version is that it needed to happen. It wasn't the timeliest of things, but instead of doing the next year's insurance, and I still have to pay insurance. I don't have to do work comp now because that was just because I was in Mike's building. And I don't employ anyone. It's just me here. Hopefully that'll change someday because I'm getting bigger too. But this is life-saving and definitely budget saving for me. I'm saving a lot of money and a lot of time being in my own backyard. And I'm really happy to be here. And I'm really happy to be a part of Bullshad Swim Baits and GSM Outdoors and Buco Brand. So I'm going to spend the next part of the video, and again, I don't know if I'm going to break this into like 1, 2, or 3 pieces or keep it all just like one length. Probably 2. I'm going to tell you why I did what I did in the studio and how I kind of made it functional for me. I have art materials and detailing materials, by the way. Not sponsored, but I love these things. These are Sharpie acrylic ink. Some of them are brush tip. They hold through clear coat, which is important, especially when I'm doing like crazy stuff like really super hyper detailed Pokemon or whatever pattern you guys like that I can do. I have to do it inspired. I can't do it to where it's going to violate any kind of deal with Pokemon Company because they don't sponsor me either. I just love the cards, and I'm a bit of a nerd. So And you guys seem to like that stuff too. But yeah, so I love Sharpies. But yeah, I'm probably going to break this into a couple of different pieces. I'm going to be back on Whatnot. I'm going to be jockeying custom cranks, and I have dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of tackle trays that have been mine personally and that I keep on hand for inspiration if you guys need stuff and I already have the bait, then I can kind of work that in and give you a better price for a used brand name versus going out and purchasing one. At this point in the game, I do try for the most part to stay away from KOs, from knockoffs, although I do still support a lot of those guys. But as someone who is within the industry, I prefer to stay with OEM equipment, which is the original equipment manufacturer. So if you get a custom Strike King from me, it's not going to be a custom knockoff. It's a custom Strike King, or it's a custom Bill Lewis bait, or it's a custom Bullshad Buka brand. I see a lot of imitations now coming out from overseas. Places are carrying these multi-jointed lookalikes. Does not have the same hardware, doesn't have the same hooks, doesn't swim the same. So you have to be careful with stuff like that. And there are some baits out there that are wicked close, and they swim just fine. Especially like if you're looking at 2.5 crankbaits and stuff. For me, I just prefer to keep it legit. I'm keeping the real baits now. I still support you guys, and I love to see you guys doing well. And I'm speaking directly to the people that are selling alternative baits out there. There's a bunch of you guys, and some of you have original stuff like Kelly with Catch Outdoors. These used to be balsa, and they are fantastic baits. They're just really, really good. I do have the boxes for these somewhere. But there are some that they make their own molds, and you have to pay, thousands of dollars for molds if you're going to do it the right way. And stuff like this. This is a Strike King. This is a legit Strike King. You can even see it's a 6XD, I think, on this one. So, but I still do stuff like that. So that's going to end the discussion part of this. Now I'm going to take you around and show you why I do what I do inside here and how it flows for me.